Hazard communication. The OSHA Hazard Communication Standard requires employers to communicate to their employees the hazards of the chemicals that they may be exposed to in the workplace under normal conditions in a foreseeable emergency. The purpose of this program outlines procedures to inform team members of their right to know about hazardous chemicals in the workplace, provides necessary training on these chemicals, and how to access information on these chemicals. Training requirements include general knowledge, how to read the safety data sheets, the availability of those safety data sheets, and employee responsibilities. Safety data sheets are published by the chemical manufacturer. They contain 16 sections. Precautionary statement. Phrases that describe recommended measures that should be taken to minimize or prevent adverse effects resulting from exposure or improper storage and handling. Provides emergency information. Examples will be do not breathe vapors, store in cool, well-ventilated place, ground and bond containers, only use non-sparking tools, if exposed, call Poison Center. Section 1. Product and company identification. Includes product name, manufacturer or distributor name, address, emergency phone number, recommended use, and restrictions on use. Section 2. Hazardous identification. Lists overview of hazards regarding the chemical and labeling requirements. Section 3 contains composition information on ingredients, information on the ingredients, some chemicals are mixtures, any trade secret claims on the chemicals. Section 4 aid measures includes important symptoms effects, whether if they're immediate or delayed. Section 5 includes firefighting measures, lists suitable extinguisher techniques, equipment, chemical hazards from fire. Section 6, accidental release measures, describes emergency procedures, protective equipment, proper methods of containment and cleanup. Section 7 contains handling and storage, lists procedures for handling and storage, other chemicals to avoid contact with, and the effects of fire, heat, or cold. Section 8, exposure controls, personal protection. Safe exposure limits, OSHA permissible exposure limits, PELs, threshold limit values, TLVs, appropriate workplace engineering controls, and personal protective equipment to be worn, PPE. Section 9 contains physical and chemical properties, basic information, the chemicals, characteristics, liquid, solid, gas, color, odor, etc. Section 10, stability and reactivity, lists chemical stability, possibility of hazardous reactions. Section 11 contains toxicological information, includes routes of exposure, skin, breathing, etc., symptoms of exposure, acute, short-term, or chronic long-term effects. Other sections include Section 12, ecological information, Section 13, disposable considerations, Section 14, transportation information, and Section 15, regulatory information. Section 16 contains any other information needed. Safety data sheets availability. Safety data sheets for chemical products used in each work area are available to all employees. Listing of safety data sheets can be located in Smartsheets. See your supervisor if you have any questions. Global Harmonization System, GHS. Labeling requirements used to identify chemical hazards include product name, must match the name on the safety data sheet, manufacturer or distributor name, address, phone number, emergency phone number, hazard statements, restriction on use. GHS labeling. The system uses two signal words, danger and warning, to identify chemical hazards. Danger is used for more severe hazards, and warning is used for less severe hazards. GHS labeling requirements. Pictograms as shown below will be placed on the label for each hazard the chemical poses. Pictograms. These are examples of pictograms. Corrosion, environment, health hazard, skull and crossbones, exclamation mark, flame, flame over circle, gas cylinder, and exploding bomb. GHS sample label. Safe handling of chemicals. General precautions. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when using chemicals. Do not mix any chemicals together unless it is a standard procedure. Use proper equipment when handling chemicals. Wear any recommended PPE or personal protective equipment. Wash your hands thoroughly after handling chemicals. Always store chemical in their designated locations. Hazard communication employee responsibilities. Employees must read labels and safety data sheets, follow employer instructions and warnings, identify hazards. General precautions. Do not transfer any chemical products from one container to another. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when using chemicals. Never mix any chemical together. General first aid procedures. Get medical help if needed. Inhalation exposure to get fresh air. Skin exposure, wash your hands with water. Eye exposure, flush your eyes with eye wash solution. Ingestion, eating or swallowing, refer to your MSDS. In all cases of chemical exposure, refer to the SDS for specific information. Supply a copy of the SDS to emergency personnel. Contractor communication. Contractors must communicate information about any chemicals they bring on site to EG America. EG America must communicate information about chemicals they may come in contact with on site. Questions and concerns. Questions and concerns, right to know laws, and requests for safety data sheets are to be directed to your supervisor. Risk management is also available to provide assistance. All concerns of air quality, chemical, or biological exposure are to be reported to risk management.